Welcome back to the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast, powered by HSN Mentoring. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, our mission is to help 1 million people take control of their health one step at a time to prevent and reverse chronic disease. I know we can't do it alone, which is why we partner with gym owners, coaches with their boots on the ground, like you, so that you can use our proven framework to help make a greater impact in your local community. My name is Nicole Coyne, the founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, home of CrossFit HSN and HSN Mentoring. And in this podcast, you're going to learn how to take one step at a time to build a successful nutrition coaching program. Now, today we are talking to Brendan Rice. He is the founder of Wodify, which is a platform that helps gyms, and they do member management and also they do payment processing. So I sat down with him to get a deeper understanding of big picture. What does the industry look like in regards to nutrition metrics for charging and pricing, and the impact of an overall business inside of a gym? Super interesting conversation. Really impressed with how quickly he was able to pull these reports. And the cool thing is we now have an integration with Wodify. So if you are using our Healthy Steps Nutrition program, if you're a part of HSN Mentoring and use Wodify, we now have website templates and workflows available for you to make nutrition present online. We know that in order to grow a successful nutrition coaching program, people need to know that you offer nutrition prior to coming into your facility. So having a nutrition component on your website, we have website templates that are a standard nutrition coaching page, a employee wellness page, nutrition challenge page, and a recipe page. So 4 website templates for gyms that are partnered with us. And then we also have some amazing workflows for you to nurture your email list and put nutrition information in there so that they can book a discovery call with you and get enrolled with your nutrition coaching program. This has significantly helped gym owners build a following that understands they offer nutrition and get more people enrolled in a nutrition coaching program. So if you use Wodify and you're a part of HSN, make sure that you integrate with those workflows. They're completely free for you. This is a bonus and perk for you as a mutual client of ours. All right, let's get to this conversation with Brendan. Brendan, thank you so much for joining us on the Grow Your Nutrition Business podcast.
Yeah, thanks, Nicole. Thanks for having me.
I have to give you guys a shout out over at Wodify because about 3 hours ago, I sent you a message and was like, hey, I want to make sure that we have this data to share. And you're like, I don't have it, but I will get it. And you were a rock star in your team for getting all this data that we could share on nutrition and metrics, because I think this is something that obviously gym owners know that is needed to help their clients see really good results, but there's not much information out there around the stats of like, what are gyms doing well that are doing nutrition? What are the metrics? So I'm excited to share all those today. And thank you for working so hard leading up to this podcast.
Yeah, no, all definitely the credit to our business intelligence team, not to me, but for us as a company, we don't pretend to be experts in nutrition coaching or even programming or some of this, but what we are experts in is technology, and we have access to data that we can share with partners like you and Two Brain and CrossFit HQ, and we love being able to share that data, getting your insights on it, and sharing it with a broader audience.
Awesome. Well, I say let's dive in and share some of these cool statistics and things that gym owners might not be thinking about because they're so bogged down with the day to day. Let's just start big picture. Most gyms have their core offer group classes, and we know that diversifying revenue is really important to build a stable business. What are some of the stats and metrics around gyms who do well with diversifying revenue?
Yeah, definitely. So the two that stuck out to me when we dug into this data are looking at the trends across all our gyms, and then also looking at the top performing gyms and what common characteristics they share. So in our customer base, gyms that bring in more than $50,000 a month in average, that's about the top 5% of our customers. They have more than 10% of their revenue coming outside of that core membership-based, class-based revenue. So that's one first interesting stat, is most of those gyms that get to that level of scale don't have just one concentrated revenue stream. So you can kind of make some inferences from that in terms of that those revenue streams are one of the things that helped unlock that level of revenue growth. But further, even if that maybe seems a little out of reach from a gym owner where they're at today, or maybe that's not even their goal, um, we did see that just across the entire board, gyms that generate more than 10% of their revenue from other revenue streams bring in about 50% more monthly revenue. So no matter what size you are, the bottom line is if you are able to diversify, and there's something interesting about that kind of 10% number. What that does is it's kind of weeding out like the retail or maybe the one-off events or seminars. It means you have a real revenue stream. So it's more than 10%. It's a significant revenue stream for your business, and it'll set you apart from those other gyms. So those are the two stats that kind of prove to us there's something about diversifying your revenue streams that prove greater revenue.
Well, like big picture, if we were to take a step back, okay, if your goal is to make more money as a gym owner, there's two ways to do that, right? You can add more people into your business, which means you need more equipment, more class times, more things, or you make your current customers worth more, right? So, when you think about diversifying revenue streams, you could add nutrition only clients. And if we're talking specifically about nutrition, you could add nutrition only clients or your fitness clients who aren't seeing the results. And if you address the other 23 hours of the day, you would help them see faster results. Now you add a bolt on a nutrition coaching membership to their fitness membership. And now they're going to see better results and they're worth more to your business. And we'll dive into like what does that worth look like. But diversifying revenue streams, obviously at Healthy Steps Nutrition, our focus is helping gyms understand how to diversify through nutrition coaching. But personal training is another one that a lot of gyms will do. What are some of the other ones that you guys see in Wodify?
Yeah, so we see, I mean, there's a huge spectrum, especially because most of our customers are functional fitness, CrossFit style gyms, but we also have a good percentage who are jujitsu and martial arts, who are other types of boutique. But in general, personal training and nutrition are two of the biggest pillars we see. We also see specialty types of programs. So whether
Mhm.
it's youth or specific athletic types of programs pulling in like very niche audience. Corporate programs are very big for us. Some customers actually do have decent size retail offerings. And then this is a little bit less common in the CrossFit and functional fitness space, but seminars and events are another big revenue stream, especially when you get into like yoga, for example. Tons of yoga studios generate significant amounts of their revenue from like week-long excursions and trips and stuff that they take their membership base on. So one of the points in sharing that, I think for the purpose of this conversation and our kind of mutual audience, it's probably more relevant to focus on things like personal training and nutrition. But one of the reasons I share the others is we've seen a lot of interesting learning that can happen across fitness verticals as we start to get more customers across verticals. So maybe you're not doing, a week-long CrossFit trip to Portugal, but there's maybe something there. Maybe you could do a weekend trip where you guys go and you rent, Airbnbs in the mountains and you do a cool trip. So, but yeah, I think the revenue stream diversification, the best way to think about it is like how can it be a multiplier for the rest of your business? So if you were considering nutrition or personal training versus something um, that maybe is a one-off seminar for a completely unique audience that you don't interact with yet. Even if the revenue was the same, I would steer most gym owners towards personal training or nutrition just because it fits in a little bit more holistically with their offering. And like you said, it can cater to their existing members or new members. And a lot of people who walk into a gym are looking for an overall goal of feeling better and getting healthier. And those things can really help round that out.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of complementary things you could do with nutrition with different revenue streams too. So, for instance, if you have a kids program, do you offer a family nutrition coaching program where you can serve the whole family and helping them prioritize their health and wellness, not just the parents? Or if you do a kids strength conditioning program, can you bolt on nutrition seminars and nutrition support with a team so that you can
Yeah.
support, their athletes not only with the strength training component, but also how they're fueling their bodies. I share this from experience at Healthy Subs Nutrition at our gym. We've had a partnership with a gymnastics facility for 10 years now, where we go in every 6 weeks and do some type of seminar, and then an email goes out to the entire parent staff, like parents of all the athletes, because they're not in the room, discussing what we talked about. So the cool outcome of that is kids started understanding, like, oh man, I need to eat protein if I want to build muscle. I'm working really hard during all these gymnastics practices. I need to have the energy. And in order to have the energy, I need to fuel my body. I can't just be drinking Celsius all day. So being able to, from a coach standpoint, from a gymnastics coach standpoint, if your athletes are fueling their bodies better, they're going to perform better. And from a parent standpoint, if it's coming from a third party, then there's a lot less friction in the household saying like, okay, you need to do this or you need to do that. No, my nutrition coach told me. So there
Yeah.
are a lot of parallels if you are looking at diversifying revenue. I remember a few years ago listening to someone and they're like, okay, if you basically think of a chair and if group classes are one leg of your chair, you can't have a steady business only with one leg. Like, what happens if COVID happens and people can't come into your gym? Okay. Well, if you've got nutrition coaching, which you can easily do virtually too, and you've got other different revenue streams, then you're going to make a more stable business at the end of the day. And I think
Yeah.
ultimately we have to have a stable business to be able to keep our doors open, to be able to serve our community and help them get healthy.
Yeah, that's something. I mean, sometimes when we talk about these numbers and I'm just rattling off monthly revenue and profit, it sounds a little bit cold. And one of the sayings that we kind of came up with is there's no passion without profit, because so many gym owners
Yeah.
are passionate and they might not on the surface, lead with, well, I want to hit $50,000 a month in revenue, or I want to hit, but it's really important to be able to help more people to talk about things like diversifying revenue and increasing your profit, because that's just going to unlock more opportunities for you to create careers and to help people and to just broaden your reach. So I think it's really important.
Yeah. You could look at it the other way too. Like, okay, if my nutrition coaching program is making $10,000 a month, how many people is that helping? Like, that's
Yeah.
the really cool part. And how much revenue is the coach who's delivering it able to bring home and potentially make a full-time career with fitness and nutrition because you've added this revenue stream. So I
Yeah.
agree 100%. We can't be scared to talk about revenue goals because ultimately that just really means you're able to impact more people, which is a
Yeah.
huge.
And then the other thing on nutrition that you probably have more experience than I do, but where we see gym owners being successful with diversifying their revenue streams is kind of the area where they have the most natural influence over their existing audience. And so a lot of people probably, like people who go to their gym regularly, their coaches and the owner of that gym that they might have a relationship with are some of their most trusted kind of like advisors on any of this stuff. So I think that's why personal training and nutrition, and really anything related to that person's health and fitness, there's a really natural entry point there for the coach who sees them 3 days a week and probably is super healthy themselves and can share other success stories from the other members are probably in a similar kind of general demographic as them, so they can help them as well.
Yeah, one of the most common questions I get from gym owners who've been around for a while is like, how do I get my existing members bought in to do nutrition? And I'd love to say it's a light switch, right? Like you turn on the nutrition program and everyone comes running, but in reality, that's not how it works. You might have the early adapters, the people that if you launch a challenge, they get bought in on a challenge and some will continue with ongoing coaching. But ultimately, it comes down to how consistent are you as a gym owner and with your staff talking about the importance of prioritizing the other 23 hours of the day. If someone says, I'm not gaining muscle, or this workout was really hard, are you asking them about how are you eating? How are you sleeping? What does your daily routine look like? Because all of those things are influencing how you feel, how you perform, and ultimately your results inside of the gym. And until we have those one-on-one conversations with members, and share the success stories, like you just said, it's going to be tough for them to know, okay, is this just another gimmicky program that's really going to help me? How is it going to help me? And let's be honest, most people join the gym because they think that's the solution to help them get in shape, lose weight, feel better, all of the things. But if we don't address the other 23 hours a day, it's impossible for them to see the results really that they're looking for.
Yeah, and I think like a small Wodify plug, or whatever system you're using plug, but a way to do that and the data we have to support that idea of just like the value of conversations and generating awareness is we developed a feature about 2 years ago called in-app chat. So it's just a way to have either one-to-one or group chats within Wodify, because email and even text has become so noisy these days. And so in our system, you can generate either you can create a group that you want to chat with, so maybe your nutrition class, or you can automatically create chats from classes. So if you wanted to send out, like you had a morning class, you wanted to send out, hey, I mentioned I found an awesome new recipe this week,
Mm.
and you want to share that via group chat, or you want to have just one-on-one chats, like that idea of generating conversations. What we've seen, and customers use this for all sorts of reasons, but just across the board, the top 10% of customers who use in-app chat, so they're sending thousands of chats a month and they're having all these conversations, they generate about $10,000 a month more in revenue than customers who aren't using in-app chat. So without even getting into what they're chatting about, that just shows you that engagement outside of the gym, outside of the physical gym, is really important. And it's a great way to add value to clients. And when it's fully integrated like that, it's even easier.
This brings up a really good point. You think someone says they might be interested in doing nutrition or doing a nutrition challenge, doing a barbell club. But if you don't follow up with them through something like an in-app chat, are they really going to sign up for it when they go back to their crazy world where they're overstimulated, being pulled in many different directions? Like, I think it's our responsibility as business owners to leave the follow up on you to encourage the people to take the next step in helping them reach their health and wellness goals. So
Yeah.
I love that you brought that up. I mean, that's a simple strategy, and if every one of your users has this in-app chat, I think that's a great solution. One of the things that we talk about is like just bringing nutrition into the conversations, and recipes are a really good way. One of the things that we actually just integrated with you guys is a recipe page. So any of our mutual clients have a recipe page, and you can easily just share that in-app chat. Like, hey, we talked about this super easy treat, cottage cheese cookie dough. Here's the
Yeah.
recipe, and send it to them so that they don't have to go searching for it and find it. So that would be an easy way
Yeah.
to integrate nutrition into the conversations. And when people start trying these things and start using the simple tips that you give them, when they're ready for more help, they're going to come to you because you've already started building trust in that area.
Yeah, actually, I was going to ask you, you help kind of a lot of gyms understand where to start and how to stand up these programs. And one of the things you mentioned in one of your recent episodes was just this idea of giving away value for free. And I was curious what you've seen to be the most successful, and whether it's stories, recipes, challenges. Like one of the things I've realized, I had my own kind of epiphany related to nutrition coaching when I started just just journaling at what I'm eating. Like that was my aha moment. Like I'd seen, but it was like once you start tracking something, then you just become so much more aware of it. But I'm curious what what's your take on the most valuable value add a gym owner can share with everyone?
I think there's two pieces to this. And gosh, I actually just talked about this at Gas, the live event you guys were actually at. There's people that need a little bit of info and they take action right away, right? Like, okay, I've got a problem and you mentioned something, and like, yep, this is going to solve my problem. I get it. Like, don't we all wish all of our clients were that way, right? Like, okay, yes, this is great. Like, let's go. But then in reality, most people need all the info. They don't just need one thing. They need like you to provide some value, answer some questions for them, and show the success stories, because the research does show if you show success stories of people like them, they're more likely to pay more for the service and sign up with you and your brand. So I think it's real combination, but I think consistency is the driver here, right? Like you can't share one tip and think, okay, yep, I'm going to get 10 nutrition clients from this. But if you're consistently adding value, like what should I have before my workout? How much protein should I have? What does a balanced meal look like? Why am I tired in the afternoon? How much coffee should I drink? What should I put in my coffee? Like all of these questions, and you might just, gosh, go to ChatGPT and ask like, what are the most popular nutrition questions? Or take out the note section of your phone when you are talking in class and write down the questions that people are asking you. Because I guarantee if someone's asking you that question, other people in the class have the same question. And then at the same token, you really need to highlight the people that have done awesome with your nutrition and wellness program if you have one. And I don't necessarily just mean like weight loss. Yes, most people's goal is weight loss. And I think it's important to do something like in-body scans where you're not just showing the number on the scale, but also body composition changes, body fat, muscle mass
Yeah.
maintaining. But also looking at health markers, which is something that I'm super passionate about. You know, if our mission at Healthy Steps Nutrition is helping people prevent and reverse chronic disease, like we need to know beyond just the the markers of body weight, muscle mass, body fat, we need to know like, okay, what is your A1C? What are your triglycerides? What's your fasting insulin level? Like all of these numbers. So if you're capturing that data with clients and then retesting it at 4 or 6 months, and then you can show like, hey, through our coaching program, when people do nutrition and fitness, their triglycerides are going down by an average of 35%. Their A1C is going down. This is going down. Like that is so impactful because what's in reality happening with the 93% of the American population that's metabolically unhealthy is they go to the doctor, they get their blood work done, it's trending in the wrong direction, and the doctor says, you really need to work on this. Like, what does that mean? I don't know. Or they say, all right, Brendan, it's time for medication. Here you go. So if you had the numbers and showed that your program works, not only are people that get their blood work done are going to be like, oh man, this actually can help me more than just change my body composition. You're actually going to build a lot more authority with the healthcare providers too,
Yeah.
and then potentially create partnerships with them, which is really the Global Health Project, the initiative that we launched last month to help gym owners create these bridges between healthcare providers. Because the average doctor's office has 2 to 3,000 people in there every single year that
Yeah.
they're seeing. Like that's more referrals than any gym could ever handle. So if you're like, I need more members, start talking about your health focused coaching program, get the metrics to back it up, and then start talking to healthcare providers to have them refer people to you.
Yeah. That's a great tip. I
So
like it.
big picture, I don't think that there's one thing. I think, you need to provide valuable content. Recipes are the number one way we get people from email or social media to our website. People love healthy recipes.
Yeah.
So simple healthy recipes, I think that's one easy thing. And then answer the questions that people have. That's like the relevant things. People don't know what they should eat before their workout. They don't know what they should eat after the workout. They don't know how much protein they should have. They're wondering why they're tired all the time. And ultimately, all of that comes down to the other 23 hours of the day that they're not
Yeah.
addressing.
Yeah.
Talk to me about workflows. So, big picture, when I opened my gym, I had no idea what a workflow even was. So, let's start there. Like, let's define what is a workflow?
Yeah. What is a workflow? Good question. How theoretical do we want to get? No, workflow is simply a way in any technology system to set up triggers and actions so you can accomplish tasks more efficiently. It's also a way to have some level of personalization at scale. So you know, Wodify started in 2012. Back in 2012, most gyms used very little, if any, technology.
Yep.
And we created kind of a revolution in digital performance tracking. So we put screens on the walls, did programming, and got people similar to nutrition, understood the value and the importance of putting tracking in workouts. And so that's really how we grew in the space for the first 5 or 6 years. And then we add what we have, fast forward to what we have today is just the most robust, complete all-in-one gym management system, including digital performance tracking. And as we went through that evolution and technology in general got more sophisticated, the big change that really workflows unlocked was the ability to do customization and personalization at scale, without having to take kind of a one size fits all for every gym. So today with workflows, we talk about like configuration without code. So I can walk into pretty much any gym, talk to them about what they want their onboarding process to be, their lead conversion process to be, their 90-day journey, and without talking to an engineer, I can go into Wodify or they can go into Wodify and set up rules and actions and triggers to accomplish all of that. And what that's done is it's helped gyms be more efficient, get more time back in their day, generate more revenue. And that's really kind of our mission, is to help enable these gym owners with technology to have more successful businesses.
So I'm going to put this in like terms of when I started as a gym owner. When we had a lead come in or someone call, there would be a post-it note. And I'm embarrassed to say this, but this is the way still some gyms work
Yeah.
today. There would be
Most, yeah.
a post-it note. And we would follow up with them. But if they didn't come in right away, like at some point the post-it note lost the stickiness and then it got thrown in the trash. And then they essentially never got called again, right? And this might happen with a lot of gyms, even listening, hopefully not listening to this podcast, but maybe some. Um, Maybe someone emails you and said they're interested. If there are not some automations in your system, now you are required to manually follow up with them. How long are you following up with them? And how quickly? And in what forms of communication? Are you SMSing? Are you emailing? Are you calling? Like, what are you doing to be able to move them to the sale line faster, right?
Yeah.
So like that's one of the pieces, right? Are we how quickly and what type of automations are we getting? Like, for instance, rate requests, right? That's a common one. A lot of people request rates. Do a lot of people sign up right away? They probably take some nurturing to get them sign up.
Yeah.
And you guys can set up workflows for new leads to come in and nurture them, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the huge values that workflows can do for anyone's business is just standardize your best practices.
Hmm.
If you talked about a class and you said, tomorrow, who knows, we're going to do a strength portion maybe at the beginning, the warm up in the middle, maybe it'll be at the end, maybe it won't happen. Like that would be insane, right? But that is what a lot of gym owners lead conversion process or even retention process looks like. So
Yeah.
workflows lets you sit down and outline a best practice for your business, whether that's maybe a lot of gym owners work with mentors, maybe it's what they've already developed, but they just have it in their heads or they have it, on a scratch piece of paper. And it lets you code those best practices into technology and have an audit trail through technology to make sure that they happen or to follow up, when things fall through the cracks or to just measure whether or not it's working. So if you don't run your activities through some sort of technology, you're really just operating blindly. Like you'll never be able to make informed business decisions. You'll never be able to, organize your own day and have the time to do things like launch new programs to diversify your revenue streams. And so, yeah, I think that's just kind of at a high level is what workflows as a concept can do. And at Wodify, I think it's important to talk about how our approach to workflows has been quite different than other technology systems because the most kind of immediate that comes to mind for a lot of people is lead conversion follow up, like you mentioned. And so, a lot of companies in our space there's a company called High Level, which does marketing automation. A lot of companies will white label that and provide it to gym owners. And what we've done with Wodify Workflows is built a fully integrated visual workflow builder. And what's important about that is it's not just lead conversion. So we see this entire client life cycle. We think about it as lead conversion, client retention, and operational efficiency. So basically, any system or process a gym owner can think of, whether it's related to leads or clients or operations, like launching a nutrition program or creating the tasks for your coaches to have conversations or to share recipes, like all of that stuff, you can set up workflows within Wodify for. So that's what we're really excited about. We have a whole team now. Like I know you know Steve and a few other people on our team. We have a whole team of business success engineers that go in and they do what I was mentioning, configuration and not coding. So they can just go in, do a screen share with the customer, and set up these systems to exactly match what they want their best practices to be.
I have to give you guys a shout out because I know Melinda on our team worked closely with you guys to build out the mutual integrations for our clients. So anyone that uses Wodify and HSN is able to get unlock these
Yeah.
workflows that are already done for you. There's one workflow that's a new client campaign. So let's say someone comes into your gym and they just sign up for fitness. How are you intentionally putting nutrition information in front of them to then get them to realize that they need help with nutrition and sign up for your nutrition program? Hopefully, you've presented nutrition as the best offer on the front end. But if they don't sign up, then you can have this automated workflow over the course of it's like 100 days.
Yeah.
That they are getting nutrition information essentially written by us, but it looks like it's coming from you to help them understand how nutrition can help them and prioritize those simple nutrition tips. One of the other workflows that, two other ones that I just want to mention that I think are super helpful that we've used a ton is a beginner's guide to meal prepping. So, capturing people off your social media or off your website to then get them into your ecosystem so that you control how often you reach out to them is super helpful. So one of the most popular downloadable guides that we've ever created was a beginner's guide to meal prepping. So someone downloads it, and then there's a series of automated emails and text messages for people to take the next step with you, to book a discovery call, to come in to your facility and get enrolled in just nutrition or nutrition and fitness. So that one was super helpful. And then another one that new gyms partnered with HSN will use is a wait list. So instead of just launching nutrition right when you start, like you go through our training and you launch a wait list so that the day you graduate training is the day you start talking to the, like getting people enrolled with your program, and you already have a list that you've been curating for the past six
Yeah.
weeks of people who are interested in your nutrition coaching program, through first talking about some nutrition tips and providing value, and then building, that rapport to get them to want to work with you one-on-one. So workflows are super helpful. I agree. Yes, for member management, upsells, engagement, but then and celebrating milestones with members too. Hey, you've been a member for 3 months, or you reached
Yeah.
this number workout, those types of things. But then also being able to capture new leads. And then the other thing is the lost lead. So we created another workflow with Wodify that's the lost lead. So people who didn't end up buying, how are you intentionally putting some information in front of them? And it's, I think, weekly emails is what we've set up, just something related to nutrition, health, and wellness to re-engage them and get them to book in with you to take the next step with your business.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things that we've done with, we've just been talking in general about how flexible and powerful and helpful workflows can be. And in January of this year, we decided we're going to make workflows available for every Wodify customer. So there's no, so if anyone's listening and they use Wodify, you have access to this feature. I'd encourage you to try it out. If you use HSN as well, we have those pre-built recipes that people can plug in. And I think, yeah, the aha moment for probably some of the people that use your workflows too is they wake up to an email about someone ready to sign up or something. Like these are always working. You do that upfront work to turn it on. Like you said, it might run for 100 days or 200 days, and technology can work while you sleep. And these things will happen. You set it up once, and it'll happen for hundreds or thousands of clients that flow through the system. So it's really, really powerful for your business.
Yeah, I think you have to have some way to follow up with people and be able to capture their information. If you're just relying on social media to get in front of your audience, you're missing a huge boat, where you're relying on a third party to get access to potential customers. And I'm a huge fan of building an email list of people and making sure that you're engaging that email list so that they know how you can help them and provide them value. Let's talk a little bit more about nutrition specifically. So, you guys pulled some reports on nutrition coaching. There was a state of the industry that was released a couple years ago that said 5% of gym revenue comes from nutrition. It looks like it's maybe slightly increased a little bit with your customers, but let's talk about big picture. What percentage of gyms using Wodify offer nutrition?
Yeah, so that's about 8%.
Okay.
So still a pretty significant minority that we can see are offering it. So big
Yeah.
opportunity, a lot of opportunity. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So 92%. And I would be curious, are the 8% people, is the nutrition revenue coming from just a challenge, or is it actually ongoing nutrition coaching revenue? Because I think a lot of gyms will run a nutrition challenge. Most gyms will run a nutrition challenge, a great way to kickstart someone's journey with nutrition. But individual nutrition coaching is really where the magic happens. I think of a nutrition challenge as like a on-ramp program. Would you have someone
Yeah.
go through a foundations program and then send them back to 24-hour fitness to do functional fitness at another gym? Probably not. Like
Yeah.
that's the first step, and then you move them into group classes, or keep them in one-on-one. A challenge is a great way, and you also want to make sure you're doing it right and not overdoing it. Like 1 to 2 challenges a year, that's it. Move people into ongoing coaching. So um,
Well, and both
yeah.
for the actual effectiveness of nutrition coaching and
Yeah.
for that concept of diversifying revenue streams. Like a
Yep.
one-off challenge is not a revenue stream, it's like a revenue blip. And so you really want to set up, like, I think if you had 30 people in a challenge or 10 people in recurring coaching, I would kind of recommend the latter every time. You have recurring revenue, you'll have better results. It's a more stable business model. So I definitely agree.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, in my opinion, it comes down to results. You're going to be able to make such a greater impact in helping people transform their
Yeah.
health and their life when there's more one-on-one support. I think we can all think of those people who've done a nutrition challenge. They saw really good results, and then they went right back to their old habits because they didn't have the accountability and support they really needed to see long-term results after the challenge is over. Let's talk about average revenue for nutrition. When you look at Wodify gyms, how much revenue? We know 8% of gyms offer nutrition. How much revenue is the average gym bringing in with nutrition?
So just from nutrition, there's I'll say the average with a huge caveat of there's a broad spectrum. There are some gyms that clearly focus heavily on nutrition coaching that are 10 plus $1,000 a month just from nutrition. And then on the other end of the spectrum, it's a few hundred. So the average is around $700 a month for nutrition programs for the gyms that are offering it. But again, that varies pretty dramatically based on how much of an effort they put into it. The average pricing is around $250, $300. So that gives you a sense of like, well, if it just depends on how many clients you get. But um, what's more interesting, I think, is of the gyms that are offering nutrition as part of their offering, they average about 60% more monthly revenue than gyms that don't offer it. So that is a combination of the revenue just coming from fitness and that idea of this is part of a broader offering that can improve your retention. It can improve your general unlimited rates, even perhaps the number of clients you have. So if you look at it through that lens, it's quite a significant revenue driver.
Wow. Will you repeat that again? That is insane.
So the 8% of gyms in our system that we can see are offering nutrition programming. Those
Yep.
gyms are averaging 60% higher monthly revenue than gyms not offering it. And so you can't directly, like, there's probably a lot of correlation there. Those gyms are probably doing, the gyms that have gone out of their way to invest in that are probably also investing in, you know, better retention systems and other things. But that's definitely not, the trend we see across every different type of revenue stream. So there's something about nutrition as a revenue stream that has helped those gyms generate significantly more revenue every month than other gyms.
Well, your program goes from an access gym or just about fitness to more of a transformation program
Yeah.
and, prolonging health and empowering health. I think the transition of how you are marketing your services and what you offer and the problem you solve changes when you really double down on that nutrition offering. You had mentioned gyms, the average nutrition revenue around 250, but the median nutrition revenue is a little bit lower than that because some people do a higher ticket offer with
Yeah.
nutrition.
Yep.
What was the median nutrition revenue?
Per membership, 175.
Okay. So if we were thinking about nutrition offerings, one of the things that for people that don't offer nutrition, I'd recommend having a couple tiers of nutrition coaching based on accountability and support. So, really, the value of a nutrition coaching program is accountability and support. Like at this
Hmm.
point, Chat GPT can give you a meal plan and can
Yeah.
tell you what to eat. Like that's not the value of a nutrition coaching program at this point. They'll give you macros. That's not your value. Your value as a nutrition coach is to sit down with someone figuring out what are they working on, helping them create a plan for that, navigate barriers, and then keeping them accountable. So what is keeping them accountable look like? I think this is where you can charge a premium for the service and have a couple different tiers. Is it weekly check-ins through an app? Is it daily habit tracking? Is it taking meal photos and the coach providing feedback on those? Is it coming in once a month or is it weekly calls that you're doing? Like there's so many different levels of accountability. And what we've seen, we charge $339 for our higher tier nutrition coaching, just for nutrition coaching at our HQ location. And I will tell you, when I look at the numbers and the metrics for us, those people that are doing higher tier nutrition coaching that have the weekly calls and the check-ins and ongoing support with our coaches, they stick around longer, they see better results. So, most of those people are not members of our gym. So they just
Hmm.
come to us for nutrition coaching. which is awesome. They live far away. Our gym's not convenient for them, but they're only coming in once a month to redo
Yeah.
biometrics and coming in person for a follow-up visit. So, if you're thinking big picture, what should I do with a nutrition coaching program? How much do I charge? I would recommend looking at number one, make sure that you're providing you're charging for the support they're providing between in-person visits and make sure that you have a system to provide that support. And then tier packages, kind of like personal training. If someone's coming in one time a week, they're going to pay less than someone coming in 3 times a week. And you want to be able to offer a service for those people that need extra hand holding.
And what have you seen to work on the lower tier option? Like, is there a kind of minimum barrier to entry that you think is a good starting place to be able to provide that accountability, but maybe lower the barrier a bit?
So we charge for HSN, we charge 229 for a lower tier, and it's one-on-one coaching. So like
Yeah.
that you have to think of it's more like personal training than group fitness. But we charge 229. People come in person once a month, and the rest is done virtually through like a check-in that the coach is providing on Fridays to review compliance in the Healthy Steps Nutrition app. So like everything is logged in there. It's easy for the coach to go in. It takes them 5 minutes per person on a Friday that they're working with to check and see did they do the things, did they not do the things, provide a personalized message. We recommend video messages. Engagement is so much more effective. If I say, hey Brendan,
Yeah.
awesome job having that protein for breakfast. I saw that you had those balanced breakfasts. How did you feel going into lunch now that you had that balanced breakfast? How are you going to remember to do that going into the weekend? Like that is so much more personalized than tell me your bright spot or tell me something awesome that happened. Like it if you want to keep nutrition clients engaged, you have to provide that personalized level of support for your people. And in order for coaches to be able to manage more people in less time, there has to be a system, or you're going
Yeah.
to have clients Facebook messaging you, emailing messaging you, using the Wodify in-app chat, and email all the different sorts of communication. It's really tough to keep track of clients. And from an owner's perspective, if you're nutrition clients are texting, Facebook messaging, emailing, and in-app chat, like how are you able to assure quality with your
Yeah.
nutrition program? It's impossible. So you need a streamlined system to be able to deliver that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It kind of goes back to what we are talking about in terms of workflows. Like using like technology should be your friend as a business owner, and it should help you track what's working and standardize everything. But if you don't put in the effort to set it up and train your staff and make sure the systems are dialed in, then it can become a headache and disjointed and a nightmare to try to keep track of.
I think from a gym owner's perspective, like I can go to our 6 a.m. class and our 6 p.m. class and easily know like, is this being run to the class plan the way that the way that the standard is set for CrossFit HSN? Yes. Okay, great. But from a nutrition coaching perspective, if we don't have those systems in place, or I don't have an easy way to go in and check in to make sure that it's happening, since so much
Yeah.
happens behind closed doors, it would be really tough for me as an owner to assure quality. But then that leads to lack of confidence that my program's going to work. And then that leads to people not signing up for the nutrition coaching program, right? Like you
Yeah.
have to have the systems to feel confident and then really ensure that your coaches are delivering and you have those standards. And I think so many times, like the amount of times that I've talked to gym owners, and we actually started our companies the same year. I've had the opportunity to speak to thousands of gym owners over the years, and so many people will send someone through an online course and then they put it on the coach to build the systems, but then they have no clue what's even being delivered. And then the coach leaves and the program leaves. Like that is the opposite way to diversify revenue and build a sustainable
Yeah.
business and ultimately be able to really help your people.
Well, and what so many, I think, people think when they hear technology or workflows is they think automated emails that they know someone didn't, you know, actually send them. And what you're saying around those video messages, I really like. And one of the things we try to help all of our customers with is using workflows to unlock more valuable human interactions. So often,
Mm-hmm.
like there are automated email campaigns and SMS. We talk about all those things. That's all great. But those things happening give you more time, and we can create workflows, tasks, and tags on client profiles and other actions for coaches so that they know who they should be talking to when they're in class with them, what they should go, after class, go up and catch up with them on. And so technology can also help you kind of prioritize those conversations and know who you need to talk to and give you the context about that person. So so it's obvious that you care and you're not every time being like, hey, so what are you working on right now? And you can have kind of like logical follow-ups, and that personalization is something that's more and more important now with the way tech's advancing, with AI, with everything else. So I think both of us are obviously super passionate about helping gym owners have the time and the information to be able to provide those experiences.
Yeah, I personalization is so important, and you're right. And I think that's interesting to be able to use tags to personalize and really keep your staff on the same
Yeah,
page. Something that I've read and I've done a lot of work with Story Brand. I don't know if you've heard of Donald
yeah,
Miller. Absolutely love everything that they do. But one of the things I remember listening to him, and they've done a ton of research on email automations, and there's a 300% increase in engagement when your emails have videos in them. So, like one way to simply personalize email content is add a video of you talking about something. And one tip that I would recommend every gym owner do is when someone opts in for rates or free intro or whatever, have a personalized video, who you are, what you do, how you help people, the problems you solve, and let people get to know you. And I could tell you from personal experience, like we tripled down on this a few years ago. And the amount of people that say, Nicole, I feel like I already know you because they've seen so many emails with videos in them is amazing. Because when someone says that to me, okay, you're on the call because we've built a little bit of trust with you,
yeah,
and you at some point know that we can help you in some way. So, like if an owner's like, I don't want to feel salesy, you need a front load. First of all, you're not being salesy. You have to be able to sell your service to be able to help someone. But if you could front load more information about how you help people, the people that you work with, the problems you solve, then it's going to be easier to attract the ideal clients by the time that they come in.
yeah. Love that.
Email automations are something with video is something that we strongly encourage for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Any final thoughts? We talked about a lot today. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, no,
Um,
thanks for having me. Really enjoyed it. Feel like we covered a lot of ground.
yeah.
No, I mean, I think talking with you, what's clear is that I think if gym owners are so passionate about helping people across fitness, nutrition, health, they care about all of this. And if you can get the kind of tools set up with and support resources from Wodify, from Healthy Steps, from other organizations, but just having a kind of method to actually implement that in your business is so important. And knowing like, okay, if I listen to this and I decide I want to, try this in my business and diversify revenue streams or whatever it is, like, well, what do I do tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.? Like I open my laptop, what do I do? And I think, you know, if you're a Wodify customer, please reach out to our team and we'll help you set up these HSN workflows. If you're an HSN client, or we'll help you with anything else. But I think technology can really help take those next steps to actually implement these initiatives in your business. And yeah, really excited about partnering with companies like you that are equally passionate about it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for all of the work that you guys did to help get these integrations super seamless. Your team was absolutely awesome. Um, for HSN clients that have Wodify, I will link the preferred partners module where you can go in and you can get the form to request these things. There's also website templates. So there's the workflows that people have access to. And if you have Wodify websites, I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but you guys can get access to website templates, which is really cool. There's an employee wellness page, a nutrition coaching page, a recipe page, and a challenge page that are all free for you if you have that service with
Yep.
Wodify. So all you need to do is click the link and like request it, and then they'll take it from there. It's super easy. It's all done for you already. But ultimately, our goal is to make it easier for you to keep nutrition a priority in your message and make you be known as a health focused coaching program. So I'm excited that these integrations are live and ready for our mutual clients to use. Where can people find you, Brendan?
Yeah, so I think the easiest way is just to go to wodify.com if you want to see what we're all about, or you can follow us on social media or just at Wodify. If you're a customer, shoot an email to support at Wodify with any of the stuff we talked about today. If you want to get set up on a workflow, if you have questions about it, if you want to get help with implementing those landing pages on your website, that's the easiest. kind of place to start. And then for anyone else, I'll be at a bunch of events this summer and hopefully see some people in person.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all that you do. And again, another shout out to your team for pulling all those reports
Yeah.
so quickly. They're a rock star. So I appreciate that for us to be able to share all this valuable information.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Nicole.
I hope you enjoyed that podcast with Brendan. It's always good to have a deeper understanding, big picture. What are the best gyms doing? Where does my program line up in regards to other gyms that are offering nutrition coaching? And there were a few things that stood out to me. Number one, average price for nutrition programs being $245 per month. There were some outliers, so the median was $175. So $175 for nutrition coaching per month was the median, what the majority of people are charging. So if you're charging less than that, know your value, make sure that you're providing that value, that you've got a good solid program, and you could definitely charge more. Now, something that was also really interesting to me was the fact that the average gym, very broad range, lots of gyms covered here, is only bringing in about $600 per month from nutrition. So if our average gym is charging $175 and only $600 is being brought in, that's like 3 nutrition clients. There's a lot more people that need nutrition help than just 3 clients. There's another report that talked about the average percentage revenue coming from nutrition is about 5% in gyms. And there's just a missing opportunity here, because so many people need help with nutrition and health coaching. They need help addressing the other 23 hours of the day. We know how impactful nutrition is to recovery, to building muscle, to losing weight. Sleep is also a vital piece of that. And if we're not helping our clients address those things, they're not getting the help anywhere else. There's so much misinformation out on their internet. People are confused. They're trying all different sorts of things. And even if people are on medications like GLP-1s, they still need you to address the lifestyle factors to help them create healthy habits so they aren't on those medications for life. So where do you line up? And if your goal is to build and scale a nutrition coaching program, you really need the systems to be able to do that. HSN Mentoring provides a turnkey solution for gym owners to build, launch, and grow professional nutrition coaching programs, from a certification to an app to all the business systems. So if you're a gym owner looking to scale and grow, we would love to help you. You can click the link in the show notes to book a discovery call with us today. And if you are an HSN Mentoring client and you happen to use Wodify, make sure that you also click the link in the show notes so that you can get access to those website templates and workflows and automations that we have now integrated with Wodify. Hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We'll see you back here soon.